What's going on YouTube? In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips that will help you get more recruiting clients. Alright guys, so let's jump right into the video with tip number 1, which is not to sell yourself, the product, or the service. Yes, I do realize how ridiculous that sounds, because what else are we going to sell if we don't sell the product, ourselves, or the service? What a customer wants is actually a result. They want an experience, they want something that they don't have, and they want you to be the conduit by which they're going to get it. For instance, in recruiting, when you approach a client, you want to give them the experience of having tons and tons of candidates flow through their doors that are totally qualified, that can staff their operation and up their revenue ASAP. That is an awesome experience for them, and that's something that they want. They want to be sold on that. You can completely forget about selling them on yourself, whatever fancy dress you're wearing, whatever fancy firm you work for, whatever fanciness you're selling, forget about it. Sell them on that experience. Sell them on that reality that they're going to get once they start working with you. All right, so let's move straight on to tip number 2, which is to stop making assumptions. So the reality of it is, assumptions should really never be made whatsoever in life and or business, ever. And there's a really good reason for this, because most of the time your assumptions are completely wrong. You have absolutely no idea what someone's going through or what someone's dealing with or what their perspective is or what lens they're viewing the conversation or the context in. Specifically in a sales conversation with a recruiting client, you want to flip the entire script and look through their lens. Most likely, you're thinking that they're afraid of being sold. They're sitting there scared out of their mind, thinking this guy's going to sell me, they're going to try to push me into a deal, and it's just going to be horrendous. When it could be quite the opposite, and they could be begging for your assistance and begging for your need. Just simply giving that prospect some more information or influencing them a little bit more might push them right over the edge. They might already be 99% the way there. You have no idea. So put on lenses that they're wearing and understand their perspective instead of assuming that they're scared out of their mind of getting sold. All right, so tip number 3 is pretty obvious, and it's going to go back to tip number 1. You don't want to sit there and boast and brag about yourself. Definitely at all. You can try this tactic till kingdom come, but it's not going to come to fruition. You can say you're the greatest at anything and everything all day long, like the president does, but at the end of the day, long story short, it's just going to fall short of exactly where you want to be. Instead, you want to subliminally lay out your absolute benefit to them and how you can bring them to exactly where they want to be. Let's move right on to tip number 3, which is to elevate your star power. Now, if you've ever read the book Pitch Anything, it talks a lot about framing and all sorts of frames in sales. And the frame that you want to come in with is a frame of star power and value. And when the prospect sees this, they're going to see something they really, really like. This pretty much goes back to the concept of not bragging or boasting or just being cocky about who you are and what you have to offer. Subliminally act this way. Bring a power frame, bring a frame of value to the table, and your prospect will see it undoubtedly. Bring something up like previous clients that you've worked with or somebody that you helped recently, something like that, and you will instantly engage that power frame, that star power, and your client will see that, they'll notice it, so long as you are not doing it explicitly. When you do the exact opposite of this, you are literally decimating your chances of having star power or any sort of power frame with your prospect. You're basically making a fool of yourself and just trying to be the greatest and the greatest at anything and everything. All right, so tip number 4 is to ask as many questions as humanly or reasonably possible. So check it out. You're in a conversation with your client, your prospective client, and you're asking them a question, and you're slightly not understanding what they're talking about, and you want some more clarification. Ask them something like, tell me more, or how'd you do that? Or how'd that go again? Or could you give me some more information on that? Or say, that's really interesting. I'd like to know some more about that. These things make your prospect feel heard. When someone feels heard, they feel wanted. The more that you engage with them on this level and the more questions you ask, the more wanted they're going to feel. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the more wanted they feel, the more they feel that you are of value in some manner. Just psychologically works that way. So the more you can do this, the better. It really doesn't matter what it's about. Just keep asking question after question after question, or clarification after clarification. The more you get this stuff out of your prospect, the more they feel heard, wanted, needed, all that stuff. It's all emotional and psychological. At the end of the day, when they feel this manner, they're going to put you in a position of value because they see you as someone that values them. It's a reciprocity thing as well. It works that way. So we've got tons of factors working in here. At the end of all of it, they hopefully will see you in a position of a really good value and want to bring you on. Right into tip number 5, be in abundance and lean out of the deal if the deal isn't looking good. Obviously, that was incredibly vague, but here's the real deal. At the end of the day, your prospect might not be into your engagement. And if they're not, don't chase them. In fact, lean out of the deal. Be the one that's wanted, not the wanter. If you try to supplement yourself or you try to add more value when someone's already leaning on their chair, you're just going to look like a buffoon. Don't do this. Don't chase. Always replace. Luckily, these are really easy cues to pick up on. If your client is just not engaging, not answering questions, not following up with you, not tracking with you, simply just lean way back out of that deal and totally act as if you are wanted, not the wanter. You don't want to be the one that's chasing anyone. You don't want to be the one that sounds needy. You want none of that. You want someone that wants to work on an even playing field with you, not the other way around. No one should ever be on a pedestal for you, in life or in business. Guys, these are just 5 simple tips to help you elevate your client acquisition game. I know the entire picture is not as simple as 5 moves, but you have to start somewhere and you have to add on as needed. So I hope these 5 tips definitely help you up the game and help you get more clients in your recruiting business. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the alert button so that you know every single time I come out with a brand new video. Until then.